Many of you are interested in this channel because you want to learn more about how to start a business or how to take the first steps in turning that great idea into a real company. Well, in this video, we'll be discussing just that. So if you're interested in learning my 10 steps to starting a business, let's get to work. Hey guys, Junior here and welcome back to the channel. Now, some of you may know that I've started dozens of companies over my career, and although the companies are vastly different in different industries and sectors, there's some key similarities between them. Those key similarities are the processes and systems that I'm gonna share with you guys today to help you get your business off the ground. Now, I know many of you have had a great idea for an invention, an app, or maybe even a product, but you're struggling on what steps to take next. So let's jump right in and start with number one on our 10 steps to getting your business started. Now, step number one is simply refining your idea. Now, a lot of you guys have step number one down packed already, but for those of you that don't, let me explain. Now, a key to refining your idea can sometimes boil down to a simple Google search. You want to do a search locally and both nationally for who else is doing your idea and how exactly is your concept different. Refining your idea can also be something as simple as deciding, is my concept a very unique concept, or am I looking to franchise an already existing company or product that's on the market? So the next step is you're going to really want to dive deep and understand, are you going to be selling products to other businesses, or are you going to be selling product to end users? Now, regardless of who your ideal customer is, the approach on getting your message across to them is vastly different. So take your time and really understand who your target market is. But also, I want you to take your time at this phase because unfortunately, this is the last step that's free. Everything else in our journey requires more of your time, which is your money. So keep that in mind when going through your due diligence at this phase. It's super important and can be critical as we go on. Now, the last important part of refining your initial idea is understanding your exit strategy. Now, some of you may be thinking, why do I want to consider my exit strategy before I've even started the business? The reason being is understanding your exit strategy, whether it's a merger, whether it's bringing on a new partner, whether it's going public, and unfortunately in some cases, even dissolving the business, understanding that on the front end can help you decide on how fast you need to go or slow you can go, or how much money you need to raise, et cetera, et cetera. That's why it's important for you guys to think about that step now, because it can be crucial in the growth and timetable for your business. Okay, so for step two in starting your business, as always, the business plan. So now that you've refined your idea, you know who your market is, you know the fit, and you understand your entry strategy and your exit strategy, it's time to start drafting an incredible, powerful business plan. Now, an important part of a business plan that I want you guys to understand is you as the owner of the company or the founder, the business plan is your first crack at marketing. The people that you show this business plan to, whether that's a future employee, a partner, maybe friend, maybe family members, or an investor, it's the first time they get to see you as a leader, you as an owner. You need to really captivate them with putting your vision to paper. I see too many times people come up with a great concept, but they think the business plan is just a byproduct and they don't spend too much time focused on it. I've seen founders raise millions of dollars with a concept that's not that great, but the business plan was so beautifully done, executed, and it was so captivating that they raised money in the latter. I've seen people, fail to raise $1 on a great idea because they fail to captivate future hires, future partners, and money. And with that said, the type of business that you're creating can also affect the type of business plan you need to create. For example, if you're starting a business that happens to be a franchise with a proven model where the marketing and the systems and the processes are already in place, having a business plan that focuses on the numbers or your location, local demographics, and traffic counts can make more sense. If you're starting a brand new idea, maybe for an app or an invention that hasn't been executed yet, you're really gonna have to hit a home run with the business plan in terms of visuals, examples, information, things to excite your end user, things to incite future staff or partners to get them to see your vision as clearly as you see it. So understanding the type of business you have can give you a clear focus on what to include in your business plan. Now, unfortunately, this is the phase that so many people give up in their business because it takes time and it takes quite a bit of work. But there's so many resources that are online to help you save time, save energy, and keep your motivation level high for your business. If you just Google business template, there's dozens and dozens that pop up. Find one that fits your industry, that fits your niche to help you save some time. Even when it comes to visuals, there's so many resources online and via social media with freelancers and graphic designers that some have templates of their own. Certain websites have business plan samples that they leave on the site for free. Using some of those templates to give you an idea and guide you can help save some time, save some money, and keep your energy high before you get burnt out and discouraged. So I would encourage you to keep your motivation level high. This is a huge hurdle that a lot of people unfortunately give up at. I don't want to see the same thing happen to you. So use all the resources that are available at your disposal in a moment's notice to get your business plan completed. For step 3 in our plan, it's the big one. You guessed it. Funding. Now that you've made it through step 1 with a great idea, you've made it through step 2 and you've crafted a beautiful business plan, there's only one problem. How are we going to pay for this business? There's 4 key ways to raise money for your business. Number 1 is self-funding. Number 2 is friends or family. Number 3 is a bank or a lender. Or number 4 is venture capital or an investor. Typically, most businesses fall into one of those 4 categories. I'll explain. Now, self-funding is by far the most common way to fund a business, especially a new one. Part of the reason is you don't really need to create an incredible presentation for yourself. You don't really need to have down-packed, hard, ice-cold numbers to pitch yourself since it's your idea. So a lot of people that have saved up some money, maybe working their 9 to 5, typically start their business using self-funding because you need a little bit less refinement for step 1 and 2 that we discussed before. But there could be some limitations with funding a business yourself. One of those is, as you start pumping more and more money into this idea, it could start putting a strain on your personal finances and your personal relationships. And number 2, it could prepare you less down the road if you are successful and your business grows. Not preparing fully for steps 1 and 2 because you were self-funding your company can end up burning you in the long run. So keep that in mind when doing self-funding. I would encourage you to do it if you can, but understand it's still important to have a proper, refined idea and then also a down-packed business plan, regardless of if you're using self-funding or not. Next up, we have friends and family, and it's one of my favorite forms of getting a business off the ground when it comes to cash because your friends and your family, they know you better than anyone. So if you have a good reputation, you show up on time, they know how hard you work, friends and family could be an incredible source to get cash to get your business off the ground. Now, it does come with a couple caveats. Number 1 is you're going to have to fine tune your presentation a little bit more than you would if you were going self-funding route. And what I mean by that is, even though grandma or grandpa or your best friend's dad is going to fund your new concept, you still have to give them the pitch. In other words, they still need to see a beautiful business plan. They still need to see a refined idea that's fully well thought out. Number 2 is it's going to come with some form of interest or it's going to come with some form of equity that they take in your business. All par for the course, all super common, but I just want you guys to be prepared for that. So if you have a good reputation, your friends and family love you and they believe in your idea, they take you seriously, and you could prove that you have skin in the game, friends and family is a great way to get financing for your business. Next up, we have bank lending. And there are some key pros and cons to going with a bank. One of the pros is they almost never ask for equity in your business, which as a brand new founder could be super, super, super important to you. But there's some key cons that I want you to consider. Number 1 is they almost always charge a significant interest rate on the money they lend to fund your company. Number 2 is you have to be prepared when it comes to providing legal documentation for your entity in terms of having proper tax IDs, articles of formations, and so on. Regardless of your industry, regardless of your state, there's going to be certain documents that lender is going to want to see. Another important thing to think about when it comes to bank financing is banks most typically use your personal credit as security when it comes to financing your business. Unless your business has been doing business with the bank for years and years and you have such a long track record, I want you to keep in mind that when you walk into a bank asking them to fund your new business idea, almost always you have to have your personal credit tied to that note. Just in case something happens with the business, the bank wants to know that they can hold you accountable for that note. Now, on the flip side to that, if you have a business that happens to be a franchise with a proven model, or a company that you're buying that is proven and been in business for years and years, going with bank financing is almost always the best form because you don't have to give up too much equity. The bank sees very little risk because the business is already proven itself in terms of marketing, in terms of revenue. All you have to do is put the concept in place in this new location or install this new management. So if you fall in the franchise category, I would highly encourage you to use bank financing. If not, bank financing is still an opportunity, but it changes the amount of information that you're gonna have to bring more so than friends and family or a self-funding scenario would. Investors in venture capital is the final form of financing on our list and comes with its own challenges. But it could be a great source if you're starting a brand new business from scratch without a proven idea, without a proven concept. Now, investor financing is the most complicated because it combines all three of the other types of financing into one. There's an aspect of self-funding that's needed when it comes to having skin in the game. There's an aspect that's similar to friends and family when it comes to you need a personal connection with almost every single investor, whether that's an angel investor that may be prevalent in your community or from a big venture capital firm. Typically, you need a warm introduction to make any headway. And similar to a bank, you're going to have to show really strong financials, an incredibly tight accounting program, marketing program, and so forth, just to get that investor interested in funding your deal. And it almost always comes with a form of equity, personal guarantee, and interest on that money. But like I mentioned before, if you have no other choice and you're a brand new startup that doesn't have any track record to speak of, almost always investor or venture capital is gonna be your only solution. So just be prepared that if you wanna go down that route, you have to have every single other category checked and down packed. Next up on our list is step number 4, location. What I mean by location is determining if your business can thrive online or if you need an office or retail physical location. Now, having an online only business is an absolute incredible way to start a business, especially in this day and age, but it comes with some key limitations of its own. If you have a brand new product that does well with a face-to-face interaction or sales process, having an online only business can prove challenging. If you have a hardware product that somebody needs to touch and feel to really see the quality that you're offering, doing something simply online may not be your best bet. Finding a physical retail location to partner with is probably your best bet. If you have a product that needs to be fulfilled, or you're moving t-shirts or candles, you need to have some form of warehouse or fulfillment facility to get that product shipped on a consistent, safe, trackable way. It's also important to understand that not having a physical location sometimes can inhibit how seriously people take your business. Sometimes when they see just a PO box or a personal residential address as the headquarters for this particular company, subliminally a lot of investors can think, this guy's not ready yet, or this business hasn't fully committed into growing into what we think they could become. So keep that in mind when just starting an online business, but I would highly encourage it for sake of capital, for sake of time and speed. Online in this day and age is an incredible place and a way to start. On the flip side of that, having a real office or retail location has some challenges of its own. Aside from the cost of the rent and the long-term lease that's years and years long, there's some other challenges that come along with having a real physical location. There's more insurance, there's more liability, obviously there's more to maintain, and there's more overhead for your overall company. There's also the additional personal liability in addition to your other business duties. Now you're personally liable for this long-term commercial lease. Sometimes that real location can really help when it comes to recruiting. I've found personally that whenever you're looking to hire somebody, having a real office or retail space, it really allows them to envision being with the company for a long time, way more so than being at an apartment or at somebody's home office. So if you're looking to hire and recruit more people for your business, you may want to consider taking that risk in going with a real retail location. And then also for your customers, when your customers can come swing by the office, they can see the team, they can get the confidence that the service or product that they're buying is real, they could see your culture in the flesh, can sometimes be worth it also in the long run. So consider your location. It's a big part of your business plan. Now, number 5 on our list on how to start your business is team. Nobody can do it on their own, so the sooner you start preparing for the type of people, how many people, and when you hire people, the better you're gonna be. Now, there's a lot of people thinking, hey, I'm gonna start an online business, Junior. I'm not really looking to have a big staff. I wanna keep my costs low. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. Having a team is more than just having employees. Having a team can sometimes boil down to, let's say you're an online shop selling t-shirts, you have to have a partner or a manufacturer maybe overseas that you have a relationship with. What you'll be surprised is how often you communicate with some of your partners in different parts of the globe. It's a huge process and part of your plan that you have to account for. Not only how many freelancers you hire, how many third-party logistic planners you have on your team, maybe a third-party accountant, all of those people, even if you're a one-man show, technically those people are a huge integral part of your online business. Keep that in mind. Another key thing to factor when it comes to thinking about a future team is the cost. I see a huge mistake with certain businesses, especially when they're starting out. They want the best people, and we all do. They're super hard to find, but they also come with a high price tag. I've seen some really promising businesses get sunk early because they hired expensive people too soon in their process. I always like to preach, hire somebody that's pretty flexible early on. Hire somebody that maybe just graduated college and maybe they moved back home with their parents. So they have the skills, they understand the latest when it comes to education and technology, but they don't necessarily have a family or a mortgage to worry about that maybe a more seasoned, more experienced staffer would. Now, as you grow your business, maybe you do want to make that switch, and now I want to go for the more C-suite type hire that comes with the more complicated hiring package, but you know that based on their track record, based on their connections, it's going to be worth it in the long run. So understand where your business is. Try to start with the employees and the staff members that are the most flexible. So as your business grows or shrinks, their hours and their salary can grow or shrink right along with the revenue. Now, the other and final thing to consider when it comes to preparing for a team is understand that when it comes to raising capital, the type of team that you've assembled can help or prohibit you from getting that cash. What I mean by that is sometimes having an advisor, so somebody that's not necessarily on the payroll, can actually help you in getting more capital. Essentially, they're giving advice, they're giving their skill and their experience, but it doesn't cost the business anything. So if you could build a team early on with a few inexpensive hourly college grads, and then supplement that with a couple seasoned advisors that have maybe bought and sold a couple businesses in your space, that seems to be the perfect dynamic when it comes to raising capital, both via a lender or a venture capital. So there's a couple creative ways to get around having the best of both worlds when you're starting out. So guys, before we get too far ahead in our list here, I want to go ahead and recap our 5 tips that we've already discussed today. Number 1 is the idea. Take your time here, really understand and think it through. This is your last free step, so use this time wisely. Number 2 is the business plan. Do not give up in this phase. There's so many resources and free solutions online to keep your energy level high before you give up. Number 3, financing. Where are you going to get the cash? Understand that the more cash you need, the longer it's going to take. So present accordingly. Number 4 is your location. Determine what type of location you need and exactly why. And then number 5 on our list is the team. The team can make or break your business, so take this part super seriously from the very start. Now that you have steps 1 through 5 down packed, be sure you don't miss our next video covering steps 6 through 10, where we'll be discussing all the legal aspects that you need to know to get your business off the ground today. Now, if you learned anything new in this video, please like the video and leave a comment below. I'd love to learn more about your concept and idea. I'm gonna do my best to answer a couple of those questions below. So if you have a business, shoot me a question. I'll try to answer it. And if a lot of people are asking the same questions, I'll be happy to make more videos on that similar topic. Be sure you hit that notification bell to make sure you get alerted when I do make those new videos. I post here every single week. And as always, guys, if you give advice, charge a price. Until next time, peace.